It's time to dive into another round of Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 eShop deals, and these are straight up just great discounts whether you're into big RPGs, weird indies, or just stocking up the backlog. And as always, we're covering the US, Canada, UK, EU, and Australia. Now for the giveaway this week, I'm giving away two $10 eShop gift cards, and it's super simple to enter. Just drop a comment down below and I'll announce both winners next Saturday. Plus, we'll be revealing last week's winners later in this video, so hang around for that. If you are new here, then hit that subscribe button. The support lately has been incredible. It's honestly meant a lot to me. And we're so close to hitting 70,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy these videos and you want to help a smaller channel grow, that one click really does make a difference. All right, let's get into it. So the first game of the week, NieR Automata, is 60% off. Now that is a new low price and an absolute steal for a game this good. This is one of those rare action RPGs that sticks with you long after the credits roll, or in this case, in fact, credits roll several times. Now you play as 2B, a combat android in a future where humanity has fled to the moon and Earth is overrun by machine life forms. It starts as kind of stylish hack and slash combat in a bleak open world, but the deeper you go, the more it shifts. Bullet hell, shmup segments, twin stick shooting, even platforming. It is constantly reinventing itself. The real kicker though is the story. What starts as a war between androids and machines spirals into something far more emotional, existential, and honestly unforgettable. It is weird in all the best ways, and yes, this Switch version includes the Colosseum DLC and NieR replicant outfits. This game though, it's a masterpiece. Shadows over Loathing is 35% off, and if you loved Western Loathing, this one's an easy sell. It's another weird, hilarious stick figure RPG, only this time it's set in the Prohibition era with more tentacles, more puzzles, and a surprising amount of cursed antiques. Now you're called to Ocean City to help your missing uncle, and naturally things spiral into shadowy conspiracies, time travel, cosmic cheese magic, and the kind of dense, dry humour that only this series pulls off. It's part point-and-click adventure, part RPG with optional turn-based combat and endless dialogue to mess with. The art style then, still wonderfully crude, and that is part of the charm with this one. You can talk to frogs, you can, as a jazz agent class, it's just crazy. The game never takes itself seriously, but underneath the nonsense is a properly designed RPG with real progression, puzzles, and personality. It is a gem, even if you think stick figures aren't your thing. Death of a Wish is 40% off a new low price, and it's a brutal, beautiful action RPG that deserves more attention. This is another one where the art style might look crude in stills, but in motion, it's a stunning blur of lights, combos, and corruption. And if you're new to this world, definitely start with Luca, which is also on sale for just a few bucks. Here, though, you play as Christian, a warrior raised by a cult, now turning against them in a surreal descent through Neo Sanctum. It's raw and emotional, packed with unsettling imagery and a constant sense of unease. But the combat for me is where it shines. Fast, rhythmic, endlessly customizable. It rewards precision and style over, brute force. Tons of mechanics too. Building combos, tweaking your setup, earning ranks, all sorts going on. And yet overall, it hits hard, this one, mechanically and thematically. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is 60% off. That is a new low price. This remaster of the PSP Classic holds up surprisingly well with a full visual overhaul, new voice work, and a slicker battle system. But the core experience is still intact, and honestly, it works. Now you play as Sackfair, and this story bridges the gap to Final Fantasy VII in a way that's more impactful than you'd expect. It's just dramatic and packed with cameos and lore if you're a fan of the universe. Gameplay-wise, it is a constant loop of bite-sized missions, flashy real-time combat, and progression that keeps things moving. Now, I will admit it's linear in parts, but the battles are satisfying and the pace rarely drags. On Switch then, it both looks and runs great, no real complaints there, and yeah, if you're even slightly into Final Fantasy, this is absolutely worth grabbing at this price. Demon Slayer: The Hinokami Chronicles is 75% off, matching its lowest ever price, and if you're into anime brawlers, I honestly think this is the best one on the Switch. Now, I am biased, I love the show, but the mechanics here are genuinely great fun, and it just feels great to play. Now, you follow Tanjiro's journey from the early arcs right through Train, reliving major moments with gorgeous over-the-top visuals. There's also exploration levels, which admittedly are lifeless, but as a fan, still enjoy kind of wandering around these familiar locations. And yeah, with 24 characters, including both Slayers and Demons, and some really fun matchups you won't see in the anime, it's just fun. Simple as. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is 40% off, a new low price, and for a lot of people, it's the best brawler on Switch, and I get it. I bounce between this and Streets of Rage 4, but either way, I don't think you can go wrong. This one edges it out on multiplayer, though I will say that with up to 6 players at once, things get absolutely chaotic in the best way. Here, though, you've got slick combos, unique moves for each character, and a big arcade-style story mode that takes you from the streets of Manhattan to Dimension X. It is faithful to the 87 cartoon in all the right ways. Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, Shredder, it's all here. But the real win, it's the 80s pixel art. It's flat out gorgeous, from the sprite work to the backgrounds to the little visual gags happening mid-fight. So whether you're a long-time fan or just love a good beat-em-up, this one delivers. Until then is 15% off a new low price. It's a new release, I actually just finished it, keeping it light on details for now since spoilers, but I'll say this, it is stunning. Quiet, emotional, and beautifully written. Now I will be featuring it in a video very soon on the channel, next few days in fact. What is it though? Well, it's a narrative-driven adventure set in a fictional version of the Philippines where you follow Mark, a high school student navigating friendship, grief, memory, and everything in between. There's a mystery at the heart of it, but the strength is in the moments, chatting with friends, missing deadlines, scrolling social media, and just slowly kind of watching things fall apart. If you played A Space for the Unbound and loved it, this is one you need in your life. Now, it's more visual novel than anything else, so it won't be for everyone, but if narrative is your thing, it delivers. A warning, however, and a big one here. It currently crashes on Switch 2. I had to finish it on the original hardware because it actually just stopped loading post Chapter 1. Hopefully a patch is coming soon, but of course, I've not heard anything from the publisher or dev, so no guarantees. Pizza Tower is 33% off, a new low price, and if you're a fan of the Wario Land series, this one's basically required. It's loud, fast, weird, and absolutely unapologetic in every way. Now you play as Peppino Spaghetti, a panicked, balding Italian man on a mission to save his pizzeria by demolishing the titular tower. The art style is rough, sure, won't be for everyone, but I love it. It's expressive, fluid, and pairs perfectly with the game's energy. Each level is a race, basically, through insane platforming, bizarre enemies, hidden secrets, and score-chasing mayhem. There's barely a second to breathe, and that's very much the point. The soundtrack then goes hard, the movement feels incredible, and the tone is pure cartoon nonsense from start to finish. It is ridiculous, but also ridiculously good. Star Ocean, the second story R, is 50% off, and that's a new low price for one of the best remakes in recent memory. This is classic JRPG, and it's been brought back to life with a full HD 2D overhaul, and it looks stunning. The mix of pixel art and 3D environments works perfectly here. It gives the game a whole modern feel while still keeping that retro heart intact. And gameplay-wise, you can start as either Claude or Renna, each with their own story perspectives and party setups, and it all plays out across a world where sci-fi and fantasy constantly collide. So whether you're a long-time fan or brand new to the series, this version just gets everything right in my opinion. Great story, beautiful presentation, loads of modern improvements. And yeah, in my opinion, this is how you do a remake without changing too much, basically. Neva, never quite know how to say this one, even if I did review it on the channel. It's 30% off anyways, a new low price, and visually, this is one of the most stunning games on the eShop. I genuinely think you could pause it at any moment, print the image, hang it on your wall. It is that beautiful. It's from the creators of Gris, but Neva follows Owlbat and a wolf cub as they journey through a decaying world filled with quiet sadness and dark beauty. What surprised me most though is how action heavy it actually is. There's real combat here, stylish and dramatic, also a little bit challenging, and yet it gives the emotional beats here some real weight. Now the story unfolds through movement, animation, and atmosphere rather than dialogue, and the bond between Owlbat and the wolf evolves meaningfully as the world falls apart around them. It's heartfelt, haunting, and layered in a way few games are, so if you enjoyed their first one, this is absolutely worth experiencing. COCOON is 40% off, matching the lowest ever price, and this is a masterpiece. It comes from the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside, and COCOON takes that same wordless elegance and it builds it into something completely new, a puzzle adventure where you literally carry worlds on your back. The hook is brilliant. Each world is contained in an orb, and you can leap in and out of it. So you're constantly moving between layers, manipulating the space inside one orb to affect another. It's mind-bending but always intuitive, and the design is so tight it almost feels impossible. There's no dialogue here, just exploration, but expect some of the craziness, like the alien machinery, the biomechanical puzzles, the mysterious guardians. It's so incredible. Every biome as well looks so different, and the atmosphere just immaculate. If you like games that respect your intelligence and reward curiosity, this is one of the best you can play on Switch. ANTONBLAST is 20% off at a new low price, and this was one of the standout indie hits of 2024. If you liked Pizza Tower, you'll feel right at home here. It's fast, loud, destructive, and completely unhinged in the best way possible. Now you play as Dynamite Anton, or Annie if you prefer, wielding a giant hammer to smash through wild, over-the-top levels while reclaiming your stolen spirits from none other than Satan himself. It's that kind of game. It's out there, basically. Each stage, though, is built around a loop. Set the detonators, grab your spirit, and then race to the exit before time runs out. It's all about momentum, destruction, and chaos, with big boss fights and some incredible animation to tie it together. I think the vibe with this one is kind of like heavy on 2000s energy. Think Wario Land 3 and 4, but the level design is tight and the mechanics are properly satisfying. See, if you like your platformers fast and feral, this one, as the title said, it's a blast. Unicorn Overlord is 50% off, matching its lowest ever price, and for me, this is probably my favorite game of 2024. It's from Vanillaware, and honestly, they just don't miss. If you've played 13 Sentinels, you already know the level of craft they bring, and if you haven't, you should check that out too. This, though, is a tactical RPG, but it's got a flow all of its own. You're not moving tile by tile, you're leading squads across a massive open world, recruiting over 60 unique characters, managing those formations, and pulling off beautifully animated real-time battles. The thing is, the battles, you're not actually controlling the attacks. Instead, you set up the squad, and then you watch them in action. It is dense, strategic, and unbelievably stylish. The art, it's just classic Vanillaware, painterly, expressive, full of motion, and the game structure gives you real freedom in how you explore and build that army. So whether you're into story, heavy systems, or just something that's gorgeous to look at, Unicorn Overlord delivers. Darkest Dungeon 2 is 33% off, matching its lowest ever price, and while it doesn't quite hit the same heights as the first game, I still enjoyed it. It takes some big swings, the biggest being the shift to a full roguelike structure, and yeah, it's bold. Not all of it lands for that reason, but the core tension and style remain. Now here, you're no longer delving into dungeons, you're leading a party across a ruined world in a stagecoach, trying to hold things together before the apocalypse hits. Each run is self-contained, but builds progress over time, and the big new system, the affinity mechanic, it adds another layer of stress and synergy. Your team then can either bond or break, and you'll have to manage their emotions as much as their hit points. The combat's still turn-based, it's still sharp, it's still incredibly punishing, and the visuals better than ever. Stylized, moody, and incredibly atmospheric. It is different basically from the original, but there's still plenty here to love, especially if you can embrace the risk. The winners of our two $10 eShop gift cards are on screen right now. Congrats both, email me for the code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next Saturday's video. Triangle Strategy then is 60% off, and that is a massive new low price. If you're into tactical RPGs, just go grab it. You will not regret it, unless you hate. Triangle Strategy is 60% off, that is a massive new low price, and if you're into tactical RPGs, go grab it. You will not regret it. Now, if you hate strategy, you probably shouldn't. But here you play as a young noble, caught in a web of war, diplomacy, and betrayal. Every major decision plays out through a voting system called the Scales of Conviction, and you can actually influence your allies before they cast their votes. It's not just choices, it's persuasion, politics, and long-term consequences. While combat takes place on beautifully rendered HD 2D battlefields with layered terrain, flanking bonuses, elemental combos, it's all going on, but think like setting ice on fire or electrocuting wet ground. It is incredibly dense with its mechanics, but it rewards positioning and being strategic. And yet it's also built for replayability. So yeah, with this one, your decisions as well affect not only the story, but who joins your team and how they fight. So if you love Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, or Tactics Ogre, this one, yeah, add it immediately to the wish list. And that is it for this week's eShop deals. Hopefully there's something in there that caught your eye, whether it's a cult favorite, a brand new indie, or a classic that's finally hit that right price. Now don't forget to drop a comment to enter the giveaway. We'll announce the winners in next Saturday's video. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're getting so very close to 70,000 subscribers, and every single sub helps this channel keep growing. And thanks again for all of the support. It genuinely means a lot, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers all.